All right, what's up, everybody? I just wanted to hop on and say that made the decision to rebrand this group and this community. My reasoning was that there are plenty, if not more than enough, private practice groups out there that you can use on Facebook, and I wanted to really narrow this one in into what I still believe is the number one concern of therapists, which is how do I market myself? How do I get myself out there and get more clients? So to me, it was just kind of a natural decision to narrow the focus of the group to focus on marketing. So now this group is all about marketing a private practice and doing it without the hysteria. That was a little phrase that my friend Kelly Higdon helped me come up with because I think it also captures this idea of we all know we need to market, we need to be better marketers of our business, but that hysteria creeps in pretty quickly. So this group is aimed to help you be a better marketer and do marketing made easy. There's a lot of things you can do on your own in marketing your practice. There's a lot of things that are best left to the professionals, and I always want to help you draw that distinction and figure out what that is. Couple people hopping on. Hey, Rebecca, how's it going? I'm going to be on here for just a few minutes, and also I'm going to talk a little bit about marketing and what's working for me right now, and also I'll answer any questions you guys have. So I'll do a quick little Ask Me Anything. I'm here in California visiting for a bit, so that's why I'm by this beautiful pool. It's not quite warm enough to swim, but it looks nice anyway. So for me and what's working in my practice right now are really two things, and most people know that I tend to lean more toward the digital stuff. So what's working is having a really strong SEO for a number of really popular search terms in our area, and ranking really well consistently for those terms. Because my opinion is if you can rank consistently for your area, you are going to win, hands down. You're going to win, and even whatever money you might put into SEO right now, as long as you're keeping up with things, keeping some fresh content going, you're going to keep outranking your competitors. You're going to see that return on your investment, and you're going to be pretty darn successful if you've got strong SEO and you've got some good rankings going on. So SEO is about having the right keywords in the right places, and we could talk for hours about that. And then it's about kind of doing things to tell Google that your site is still relevant and fresh. So I pay a ghostwriter to publish a new blog post on the practice website about every other week. We're going to switch to every week and have her writing 1,000-word blog posts every week. And then I do some email marketing. So even just those three things are really solid and are really keeping the practice going and growing really quickly, and also enabling me to hire more people and grow the business and expand a bit. So again, it's good SEO, having the right keywords in the right places, doing regular content and having that published, and getting someone else to do that part for me, so I can focus on the business and on the big picture stuff. And then doing some email marketing. I would say that I send out an email to our email list maybe once a month, sometimes twice. And a lot of times I'll just send out the most recent blog post, any updates about our practice. I was wishing people happy holidays just recently. And the idea is you're just staying current in the minds of people. And yes, this might be for current clients, but it also is going to end up being people who are maybe former clients or parents who have kids that your practice could see. This could be people who came to the website and opted into our email list, even though they weren't ready to start therapy. So I can't stress enough this kind of brand recognition work and this longer term strategy in your practice. You want to both get in front of people who are looking for therapy right now, and also get in front of people just to stay relevant in their minds. So some folks know that that's one of my kind of core philosophies of marketing, is this difference between fast acting solutions to marketing, again, getting in front of people who are actively seeking therapy, and then slower burning solutions and working toward brand recognition and staying current in the minds of people, even people who are not actively seeking therapy. You should have some strategies that are addressing both, right? And a lot of people make this mistake in thinking that, for instance, Facebook ads is going to get you groups, get you clients right away, or getting more likes on your private practice Facebook page is going to get you clients right away. The simple answer to that is usually not. It's usually not going to get you clients right away, but it can be great more for the purposes of brand recognition. So if you're doing something to market your business, just know why you're doing it, right? I just want you to do it intentionally and also commit to doing about two things at a time and doing them really well, rather than trying to spread yourself so thin. Rebecca says about Google, is 1,000 words your set length for a strategic reason? Can you say more? Yeah, good question. And any other questions, guys, just throw them out there. I'm just kind of here to chat for a little bit. 1,000 words is kind of the SEO standard. Even your services pages should be about 1,000 words, or let's say your about page. Even your homepage, for that matter, should be lengthier. At minimum 500 words. I would never publish something less than 500 words because you're just not going to get Google's attention that way. Ideally closer to 1,000 words. And not just 1,000 words, but a very readable 1,000 words, and a 1,000 word post that has headings, right? That's easily readable. And Google actually does. Their bots will read those headings as well. So those H1 headings, those H2 headings, etc. Even the names, the file names of your images and stuff like that. So you just want to be really thorough. You want to be thorough, but also make it readable. Section off your posts into really clear headings and sections, and just be kind of diligent with it. And again, I really can't say enough about the power of outsourcing your writing. That's something that took me a while to get to that point where I felt like I could do it and just have someone else take over it and not worry about it. In reality, you, as a business owner, as a therapist, you should be doing your most expensive task, your most valuable task. And so for most of us, that's therapy. We end up doing 100 other tasks along the way just because they need to get done in the business. You might clean your own toilets at the office. You might be the one to go out and get the paper products for your office, writing your own blog posts, etc. And I get that. There's going to be some of those tasks that you're going to do. And you're going to want to hold on to those tasks, and you're going to get really comfortable with those tasks because you've always done them, and you're going to keep feeling like, well, I need to keep doing them because I've always done them, or I've always written the blog. In reality, you are keeping yourself stuck. It's a really good way to keep yourself stuck and prohibit yourself from really scaling up, because the reality is you could be doing some much more mission critical tasks with that time if you were to kind of clear some room on your plate. The last thing you want to do is just add more tasks without removing others. So maybe you are going to add blogging, but you're still seeing the same amount of clients, or you're seeing more clients, right? So all you've done there is just created more work for yourself. And I really think the whole point of this whole thing is to create a job around your lifestyle. Otherwise, you could just get a job at an agency or a hospital or whatever it is. So, yeah. That's what I think. Any other questions for folks watching and stopping by? Anything I can kind of help you with? So I'm here in the Bay Area. I'm going to be hosting an event in San Francisco in tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. It's the one-day website makeover for therapists in San Francisco. I'm really looking forward to that. We're going to have beers and food, and just kind of post up for the afternoon, working on websites, working on our branding and messaging and all that good stuff. So it should be a really great time. How was the honeymoon? That's a good question. It was fantastic. It was, I've been gone for quite a while now. It's been almost a month since I've been away. So I got married, and then we went directly into our honeymoon in Mexico. Got married in Mexico and then started the honeymoon in Mexico. We went all over the country. It was quite a ride. We went first to a place called San Miguel de Allende. It's a little colonial town in the mountains. A lot of expats there, a lot of art. It was just an incredible place. We ate, and we went to Mexico City, and we ate at one of the top 20 restaurants in the world called Pujol. It was unlike anything I've ever had. I had a 4-year-old mole sauce. I never really had that sauce by itself before. It's like a chocolate-based sauce that's been aged, and it was 4 years old. It was pretty wild, pretty incredible. Ava is here. How's it going? A few other folks stopping by. What questions do you have? You can go back and watch the beginning of the video later if you want, but I'm just talking a little bit about kind of general marketing strategies, stuff that's working for me right now, and stuff that I really recommend. But yeah, any other questions I can answer, whether it's about private practice stuff or entrepreneur stuff and online business stuff. What other questions do you guys have? Where are you getting stuck in your businesses right now? Or if someone wants to be really brave, you could hop on live with me. I think I can invite people. I can invite people to jump on the video with me. You'd have to be really brave to do that. But we could totally do that. So who else? Where else are you getting stuck in your practice right now? We are coming on the new year. For a lot of people, it's the time to make changes, set goals, do things differently, etc. For some folks, it's just more of the same. You set goals during the year and you keep working toward them, and that's another way to do it as well. Megan says, I don't think I saw the first part of your question. You said if cost is an issue, that is, like I can only pick one to start. I'm assuming you're talking about like one marketing strategy maybe? I think that's probably what you're talking about. So here's my answer to that. It depends on timing. So a lot of folks will work with me or will work with the team at Unconditional Media, and they say, well, I know I want to do Google AdWords and SEO, but which one should I start with? Ideally, you would do both, and you'd do them both right now, right? The biggest factor here is time. So if you need people calling right now, you've got rent to pay for your office, you've got maybe a low caseload and not a lot of other referral streams, I'm going to probably push you toward the route of Google AdWords. The reason is Google AdWords, you're paying for traffic and you're paying to show up in search results, and you only pay when people click or take action on your ad. So again, if you want clients now, I'm going to say Google AdWords. It's going to be the quickest return on your investment. Now, if you're going to do some SEO work or have a professional do some SEO work for you, even if that work happened today, it's still going to take anywhere between 3 and 6 months for those that work to really take hold, right? So for you to actually rank higher in search results. So again, it's about timing. Do you need clients now? Do you have some patience? Can you wait a bit for those results to happen? We did some SEO for a therapist recently in Colorado, and it was a little faster for her. I think within less than 2 months, she was starting to rank on page 1 for her area. And it also really depends on your area. So if you're in a super competitive area with a lot of therapists and a lot of therapists who are working with professional SEO people, it might take longer, and you might need to combine a pretty solid content strategy with the SEO work as well. So it really depends, but in my opinion, that SEO work is something that you need to do regardless. It's just a matter of if you're going to do it now or later. That's a good question, though. What other questions do folks have? Megan was just asking if cost is an issue, and I can only pick one to start, like one service to start. What should it be? Where else are you getting stuck in your practice? What else are you dying to know? Doesn't have to be practice related. I already answered questions about my honeymoon. Looks like Lee's in here. How's it going, Lee? I hope you had a good Christmas. So ask your questions if you got them. I'll respond. I'm also talking a lot about branding and messaging lately. I'm even talking a lot about something called Category design. All right. Darlene says, like the name change. Good. I'm glad you like the name change of the group. Kelly says to take insurance or not to. Only starting my research. I can answer this one for you. The short answer is I'm going to highly recommend starting without insurance. And the decision to take it later is totally up to you, and there's pros to it and there's cons to it. I've always run private pay practices, but there are absolutely benefits to both. But Kelly, I can tell you for a fact that getting off of insurance panels is so much harder than just getting on them, right? So I work with a lot of therapists who've been on them for a few years and they're trying to get off, and it's really hard because you get used to that income, you get used to just having a little bit of money and getting some of those referrals. But if you can do it out of pocket, it's by far a cleaner business model. It's less stress for you. You can have more control of your business and your fees, and you can even slide and still work with people at all different income levels when you don't take insurance, because you have that much more control of your practice. Yeah, good question. Definitely check the website for some blog posts about that as well, privatepracticeworkshop.com. Rebecca says, talk more about category design. Okay, so this is something this kind of blew my mind when I started learning about it. There's a book, if you really want to get into marketing, read a book called The 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing. And they're going to talk a lot about category design. So the idea is, rather than compete for, let's say, a category that's already established, right? So for instance, rather than compete with Coca-Cola to try to make a soda of that category that is just as good or better, if I was going to make a soda business, it would be to my advantage, to the advantage of my product and my company, to create my own category of soda, right? So if I'm going to do that, there's just no way I can beat Coca-Cola, right? So maybe I'm creating or for instance, category design would be those soda machines that you can use at home and make your own sodas, or make them with less sugar, or make them naturally. Category design would be, I'm looking in the house here, iRobot. So they created the what is it called, the Roomba, the little robot vacuum thing. That there really wasn't a category for that sort of thing previously, right? So iRobot actually had no competition really to establish themselves in this market. And in fact, you can see their stock prices and the growth of their stock really reflects that. Anytime a company is first to market and really designs a new category, the prospects for that company, as long as they have good leadership, are really quite good. So something to look out for. But so here's how it relates to therapists. Let me bring it back to us. As therapists, there are already 100 therapists kind of similar to you in your area. And it's the same for me, right? So when I moved my practice to Charlotte, I had to think about this, and really I didn't know enough about category design to really nail it. But rather than compete again, let's say for the number 2 slot in Charlotte, right? Because someone's already been here, they're already running a group practice. And they've been doing it a lot longer than I have at this point. I'm new to town. What would be better for me is to create my own category. So what I did is created a really kind of boutique, private pay, really modern feeling practice that was completely geared toward busy professionals, like young professionals, right? So it has this kind of tech startup vibe that I kind of brought with me from San Francisco. That's kind of a more subtle idea of category design, right? If I was going to completely redesign the category of private practice, I might do something else. Or like my friend Clay Cockrell, for him it's walk and talk therapy. Right now, he started doing walk and talk therapy in New York, started promoting it, blogging about it, and he owns that category basically, right? That's a completely different way of doing therapy. And when people think of walk and talk therapy, they think about Clay, right? Ideally, you want to become that in your community, right? So that might have something to do with your kind of your target market and who you really want to work with. But you have to constantly ask yourself, how are you different? What makes you truly different, and how can you communicate that to your prospective clients? So yeah, another thing is like, there are these dentist offices now where they're trying to design a new category of dentist office, which is like this kind of hip private pay. There's like, you can watch these, big TVs while you're getting worked on there. It's all online scheduling, etc. It's kind of a new category within a larger category of dentist offices. So I think if you can kind of think that way and think that way about your business, you're going to have a much better chance at doing well, at faster growth, at really owning some part of the market and becoming truly known for something. Other questions? I love talking about this stuff. Kelly said the only thing that sucks is population I want to serve is gouged with treatment costs from every angle. None of their treatment is covered. Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough decision. Ultimately, I really think you have to do what's best for you. We bend over backwards for our clients, and that's why a lot of us got into this work. But I see a lot of therapists sacrificing themselves and their needs and their families for the sake of doing what you think you should be doing. I get that, but I also think I was told very early on in my career that you can't help people and make money, and I thought that was a bunch of bullshit. So I work hard to kind of reverse that and turn it on its head. But I think you can find a way to do it, Kelly. You can find a way to run a good business and run a profitable business, and also help the people you want to help. I think there's always a way to do it, but you've got to figure out what that is for you. Christiana, the name of the book was The 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing. 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing. Laura Long, hello. Laura Long's probably here to pick on me. I'll take a couple other questions. Practice related, personal, don't really care. Where are you getting stuck in your practice? What have you always wanted to know? What kind of ideas do you have that you're not quite sure about? Is this a good idea? Is it not? How should I spend my money in private practice? Etc. Everyone's thinking of their questions now. Or they're just thinking and reflecting and looking at this delicious looking pool behind me. That's completely possible as well. So I was just hopping on because I rebranded the group. Okay, here we go. How do you handle professional jealousy in your area? LOL. Scarcity in general. Okay, cool. So Darlene, you can watch this post afterward. Okay, so I'm going to answer all three of these questions. This is great. Megan, how do you handle professional jealousy in your area? I handle it all the time. Well, in part because, and I get jealous of others, right? And there's a lot of emulating, and especially in the online business space, there's a lot of emulating. So in general, this is how I handle it. Stay in your lane, right? Keep your blinders on. Stay off of social media. Don't compare yourself to what you're doing to others. That is a real good way to get your head in a bad place. I get it. I've been there. Oh, Kelly Higdon is blowing up my phone, texting me, talking about business. You just have to block it out, right? Especially, I think having a scarcity mindset is really common, but you have to kind of rise above that. Realize there's more than enough business to go around, and just kind of know your place and know how you're different, and jealousy won't really be an issue for you anymore. Christiana, what are your thoughts about marketing on Facebook? Okay, here are my thoughts. I really want people to hear this part because I think it's important. Where do clients go to find their next therapist? Just do a little common sense marketing, right? So if you're looking for your next therapist, where are you going to go? Are you going to go in Facebook and type in therapist at the top, right? You're not going to get anything meaningful. So Facebook marketing is probably like number 3 on the list of top digital marketing strategies, right? Number 1 is SEO for me all day, every day. If you can win the SEO game, you're going to win, hands down. Google AdWords is number 2. I get probably 60% of my business there because I just sat down and thought, where do people go when they're looking for a new therapist? They go to Google, right? Sometimes they end up on Psychology Today, but the only reason they end up there is because of Google. And then maybe number 3 in terms of digital advertising is going to be Facebook ads. I really don't run many Facebook ads for my group practice, but if I were to, and I might at some point, it's going to be for the purposes of brand recognition. I talked about this earlier, but it's for the purposes of just getting in front of more people, raising awareness about you and your practice. Or if you're trying to raise awareness about an event you're hosting or a couple's retreat, maybe it can be good for something like that. If you want to get more likes for your Facebook page, sure, you could use it for that, but I really don't think it's a good use of your time in general for private practice. Unless you're pretty big, you're in a major city, you've got a bunch of irons in the fire with your marketing, I don't think Facebook ads should be your priority. But again, I think for entrepreneurs, or if you're promoting an event, or if you're trying to get more people to your website and you have an email opt-in, Facebook ads can be great. All right, if you're, let's say for your private practice, you're just trying to build an email list and you do couples therapy. So you have an opt-in that you promote on Facebook ads. And again, you're only going to pay when people interact with that ad. So let's say you want to grow your email list by 200 people in your area, in the Chicago area. And you have an email opt-in that says, the top 10 ways to fight fair in a relationship. You use Facebook ads to get more email addresses, and then you start warming up that email list, promoting to those people, right? That's a worthwhile, use of Facebook ads. But in general, a lot of people are throwing money at Facebook ads, not knowing why they're doing it, and not really having any clear kind of key performance indicators, or really knowing what kind of return they're looking to get on that. So again, if you're going to do something to market your practice or spend money, just know why you're doing it. Know why you're doing it. Know how you're going to measure your return. SEO, sorry, Kelly. Search engine optimization. That's how you're ranking on Google. All right, those are my thoughts on Facebook marketing. Again, too many therapists are spending and wasting time on Facebook, and I was guilty of this at some point. To me, it's a great place to reach other therapists, and that's why I'm doing this right now, is that I try to stay in touch with therapists and grow my audience this way. But in terms of finding clients, again, it's not my first place. It's not the first place I go. So just be mindful. And when you're trying to get other therapists to like your Facebook page, why are you doing that? What good is that actually going to do you? Not much. Yasmin says, I feel stuck. I started private practice 6 months ago, and I'm half full, but now I feel stagnant. So it depends on what half full is for you, Yasmin. Half full could be 5 clients. It could be 15 clients. 6 months is really not a lot of time. It's enough time for you to start to learn what private practice is all about, how hard it is to market, etc. So I would need to learn more about kind of your business to know, how good is, where are you at 6 months. 6 months could be good. I think I would generally give it about a year before you really start to evaluate, is this working for me? Is this worth continuing to do, etc. If you don't have a marketing plan, I think you should have one. Your website needs to be on point. It needs to be fantastic. It needs to be better than everyone else's in your town. If it's not, you're just going to lose people left and right. Once your website is dialed in, then you've got to get it in front of more people. So you get it in front of more people through search engine optimization, through Google Ads, right? All right, I'm going to hop off soon, but throw out your final questions here if you got them. This has been a lot of fun. 12 clients. So 12 clients at 6 months is really not bad. I have to know more about your area. Do you take insurance, stuff like that? But if you're exhausted, it's an exhausting first part of the business, but you need to be thinking about putting some money back into that business and having people, help you promote your practice. It's going to be a lot of work in the beginning, but it should be less work later. You shouldn't be so exhausted that you're kind of not having fun anymore. Yelp ads. I don't recommend Yelp ads. I've used Yelp for many years. I got most of my clients in San Francisco from Yelp, and we get probably 30% of our clients in Charlotte from Yelp. I've never paid for Yelp ads, and I never will. You just simply don't need to. All right. What does a great website look like? That's a good question, Charlene. It's a very good open-ended question. True therapist. A good website for a therapist looks like this. It looks almost like just a landing page or a lead page, right? So when I arrive to your website, I want to see a few things. I want to see a really nice, bright, it's called a hero image, so a nice, bright image at the top of your website that gives me some impression of, am I in the right place, right? I want to see a logo that's professionally done in the top left, and then I want to scan all the way over to the right, and at the top right, I want to see a call to action or a way to get in touch. And I want that call to action, a big, bright, differentiated button to be on every single page on the website. And then when I look down to about the center of the page, but still in this first section, I want to read something about your business. And ideally, it's a slogan or a tagline. So for Charlotte Counseling and Wellness, it's we'll help you find calm again. I want to encounter all three of those things. So again, the hero image, four things. The logo in the top left that's professionally done. It's not one that you did. It's not one that your cousin did for you for free. It's professionally done. I want you to spend a few $100 on this thing at minimum because you're going to get it back. People can unconsciously kind of tell whether your logo is professional or it's a DIY. So please don't have a bad logo. And then scanning to the top right, you have a clear call to action for people who are ready to take action right away. And then in the middle, again, going back, you have a slogan or a tagline or something to capture the interest of your new website visitor. If you want to take it a step further, you should have another call to action right there below the slogan to give people that other opportunity to convert. And then you want to basically base your copywriting and all of your language in your website around using plain language, speaking to the pain of your clients, speaking about what's at stake for them if they don't get in touch. It doesn't mean you have to use kind of this fear-mongering or whatever. It just means you want to help explain to them right off the bat that you get it, and here's what's at stake, if you don't buy this product, if you don't get in touch, if you don't pick up the phone. People are more likely to act when they know that something is really at stake. They know it intuitively, but you have to show them what's at stake. Again, and then you're going to base your copy off of that slogan and off of writing in that natural way. Nowhere should it be listed, like all your certifications, and I'm trained in EMDR and CBT this and EFT that. There's a place for that, but in general, people want to get to know you quickly. They want to know, can you help me? Do you get it? What can I get from this, right? And am I in the right place? So there's a lot you can do with your website copy, but again, I think less is more. I see a lot of bad therapist websites out there. I look at probably at least 15 therapist websites a day, so you start to really pick up on what works and what doesn't. Just leave it to the pros. Leave it to the pros. All right, well, that's probably it for me. If you've got more questions, you can type them below. Maybe I'll try to answer them later. But otherwise, I'm going to get back to work and be sitting by this pool for a little while today. And interact with the group. Again, the group has been rebranded to focus entirely on private practice marketing. To do us a huge favor, maybe invite 3 friends to the group who could use to learn about private practice marketing. And I just think it'll be a good way to continue helping each other. All right, you can get in touch, follow along, check out the podcast, privatepracticeworkshop.com. You can check out our digital marketing team at unconditional.media. That's just www.unconditional.media. And get in touch. Let me know how I can help you. I hope you're well, and here's to a productive 2018 coming up. All right, cheers. Bye.